All right, hello again. Ben Hitchcock Cross here for the third time as a charm as usual with Debbie Keither. We're doing the audio here, and again, I think we've got two big themes. Number one that we've talked about, which is the real crime is not the discrimination against the employee. It's the employee falsely accusing somebody who couldn't possibly be racist of discrimination, and that's hurting the supervisor's feelings. And so it's only fair that the supervisor remove you, but that's not retaliation. That's just being
Right,
fair to the supervisor.
right, and it's using the complaint process to say they are indeed being targeted by somebody who's complaining about them needlessly and categorizing that as harassment, as this court commissioner did. Um, and it's not allowing the process to take place because they're removing somebody out of their employment.
So we're talking a lot about, I mean, this is making retaliation a part of the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That we remove you until I have been proven, until all the overlay of all the miscommunications and everything, that the downplaying of what really is happening is codified, and then maybe you can come back. But in the meantime, you've got to go. And even this court commissioner contradicts all the bad feedback that he supposedly has about this guy. They then pull it back. And one has to ask, if he was really performing bad, why would you continue to give him things back or, rescind things? It must not have really been an issue to begin with. It was just a punishment.
Yeah, and the other big theme here sort of is how do you frame your complaints? How do you continue to work in a situation while making complaints? Because I think a lot of what's going on here is um, they're turning his complaints into insubordination,
Right.
right?
And
So, and
combativeness
combativeness.
and oppositional.
And we are used to seeing that in they'll call a female combative and things like this, but I think this is setting up because he's you know many of the complainants here, Mr. Edwards, everybody says he's super qualified, everybody says he's intelligent, he does great work, there's no
Right.
like
Yeah.
complaints
He's
about
been
that.
promoted.
Right.
Not he's been renewed when it comes up, just right before the time frame. So
I'm right, so he needs to get his mind right according to them
yeah.
yeah. So those are the themes here. It, I was barely stringing along without Debbie. Let's be clear. I was.
Um, on page 7 of this document, it starts with we expect immediate and sustained improvement in your conduct and performance, and it lists some areas in which he is expected to um, improve his performance. For purposes of this hearing, can you summarize the expectations that were communicated to Commissioner Edwards as part of this final warning?
Yeah, this is a PIP here. They call it
Pretty
a
much
final
so.
warning.
Yeah.
He was going to be assigned specific responsibility for tasks from the list by me, and was to ensure that those tasks be accomplished timely and efficiently as per specific expectations
Sorry,
established by
everybody.
management and to
Try
benefit
that.
the office and its partners and the public.
It was a
And
lot
I
of us, not a lot
outlined
of the video.
that he was to perform and complete those tasks as I directed. He was required to accept all the assignments that were given to him, and it would be expected that he not engage in unnecessary and unconstructive opposition. Concerns were to be directed
No complaints.
to me and or Judge Ashley, Judge Martins, if I was unavailable.
Well, if
It
it
was
was
a
about
request that he
me,
not
Right.
engage in needless
needless.
combativeness. I also specifically noted or um, that the restrictions on the communication with the partners was rescinded. He was to resume communicating with relevant partners regarding issues that arise as to the tasks that he was assigned, and on an as needed basis regarding other issues. Professionalism and courtesy must be demonstrated at all times when communicating as an FCC representative.
We see this frequently as like a form of micromanagement
Hmm.
where you may have certain job duties, but I'm going to say who you can't talk to and who you can talk to. And we see that in schools a lot, right? You can't talk to the school board members.
Right, like, which makes it impossible for you to execute the tasks that you've been given. So you think that that's probably by design because,
Right, because
yeah,
it gets you two ways. You can't make complaints, but you also can't do your job. So then they can go to say, well, the school board, you were harming the children
right,
because you didn't tell the superintendent. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Um, it must, and I essentially
But
that
also he's portraying it as him
was
being
reiterated in the
magnanimous
next
and
paragraph. All
nice.
communication with
exactly. By
partners, coworkers,
lifting,
Yeah,
FCC
rescinding,
employees and staff, employees of other departments, and the public, whether oral or
because he
written,
has
must be
faith that you can
professional,
do a good job.
yeah,
respectful,
Yeah.
and constructive. It would be
And
expected
this,
that there were no reports regarding bad communication.
thank you.
bad
This was
communication.
issued to Commissioner Edwards in person.
It was Judge Ashley and I and HR representative were present at the time.
This was in June? Jeez,
He again
Was,
refused to sign it, but was given a copy.
thank
things
you.
snowballed
Was
quickly.
Commissioner Edwards
Yeah.
given an
Yeah.
opportunity to ask questions about the expectations listed on page 7?
He was.
Did Commissioner Edwards avail himself of the opportunity to ask questions about what was expected of him?
I don't think he asked any questions about it.
Okay. And to confirm it, it's dated June 11, 2025. Is that when it was presented to Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Um,
Wow.
I've complained about this in other videos, but she's leading the hell out of him.
She is.
Okay. And I just went to a big shot trial convention yesterday, with all of the provincial bigwig trial attorneys around. Blue gray is the suit color this year, I understand. And they're wearing sneaks with the suits. But somebody said, and I just was appalled at somebody leading the hell out of them in front of this judge, in front of everybody. And what was the advice? And everybody thought it was fantastic. Lead until somebody objects.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this just, and this is non-attorney me. If this is cross,
Hmm.
are they able to do more leading?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
You can lead and cross.
Okay, because that's their
It's
witness.
their witness.
So now opposing is
Right. You can,
cross-examining.
and the reason for that is this is your witness. You brought them in. You've assumed that you know what they're talking about and that this is a friendly thing. So you don't want them to put words into their mouth.
Yes.
Okay. But that's a different story when it's an adverse situation.
Okay.
You know who taught me that one? Chris Reardon.
Oh,
It's initialed by the chief on the bottom there as well.
Presenting you what is marked as county's exhibit. Just a second. 8. Do you recognize this email?
And this is something that looks
Yes.
bad for
I
Edwards, that there's a
asked that
warrant
he
that he
take on
didn't
the job
respond to.
of
it is,
signing
but they're
walk-in
misrepresenting
Well,
what's
right,
actually
right.
being, yeah.
as of July 7th. Some process that he was familiar with. I specifically chose it because he had signed on occasions in the past, 2023, 2024, had signed those walk-in withdrawals and was familiar with the process.
But wait,
And
okay. They just gave him a final warning, and then like the next day they assign him this important duty.
Yes. Yes. And well, I don't want to give away too
That's
much,
fair
but
enough. But let's just say I had a warrant against me. Okay. It kind of seems like he's playing games with this.
it does seem that way. It's the test, the test is right away the next day.
there's an attachment to that email. Can you describe what the attachment is?
I'm
The
going to put this
attachment
another way.
is
Let's say it was my warrant. I wouldn't want them playing games with my warrant.
I wouldn't either. And it doesn't, it's not constructive for the public.
It's not just to play games with warrants.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, if the guy was on a final chance and the warrants are like super important, because he just testified in the last thing that there's nothing more important. That's like the primary mission is to not
Yeah.
screw up
So
warrants.
let's put this out and see if, yeah, if he's
The
going to.
final chance guy,
Mhm.
we're going to give him the warrants. Okay. But for
But remember, the Supreme Court says really you have 30 days, but they want you to do it, I guess, in this guy's head in 24 hours, even if it comes after hours. So
Oh, I get that. I mean, fine, that's the standard. But if that's what he thinks needs to happen, why is he then putting the last chance guy, assigning him somebody who we just put on a
mhm.
last chance? Why would he assign him this vital duty?
Well, and he didn't. The person on last chance was just operating under the normal parameters of things.
Sure.
Yeah, not the things the other guy had in his head.
And okay, and I've seen this has come up a bunch. I've seen Judge Ashley say that the deputy court commissioner has to follow the court commissioner, but I haven't seen anywhere else that it says that the court commissioner supervises or has power over the deputy court commissioner. And I think that part of the issue is going to be at some point the deputy court commissioner is a judicial officer and is exercising discretion. So you're going to end up in this Maria Seltzer kind of situation here where you've got somebody who's saying, "I'm using my employment control over so you've got to execute this warrant the way I want you to do it, even though you're signing your name to it."
Exactly. That's precisely what's going on here. And he wants to be able to direct all that. And even though it's not spelled out. And I guess that's what the matter that they are ultimately
Got it. So, and
deciding.
just to spell this out a little bit more, you're right. The ERD says that Calvin Furman makes his own decisions independent.
Right.
Okay.
They say
But
that.
in behind the scenes, he's not making his decisions independently, and it's Maria Seltzer's involved in that. So
Well, and they're
when
having meetings
they're having meetings
every
about your
other
case.
week about cases,
Right.
active cases.
So,
Yeah.
for example, Maria Seltzer has said negative things about you and I. So if the judges are, and you have a case before the ERD,
I
right?
do. I have
S-
one right now.
Right. So this would be like Maria Seltzer, who says bad things about you and I, to the ALJs, then telling, right? Because we don't know, and they keep telling us that she doesn't have anything to do with our cases. She's not
Right.
the one but we have evidence that she's biased against
Right.
us.
We do. We see that they're planning the moves as a group
Right.
and not individually, which, it makes it very challenging, especially if you decide to mediate halfway through. What if you get a judge that's been hearing
Right.
this the whole time, or if you get a judge that recuses himself midstream,
Given a
which
judge
they
who's
do.
given advice to Calvin Furman against you, just
Right,
for example.
right.
Um,
So
and then you got to find that out on the back end because
you
they don't
do.
tell you.
They will not tell you.
This, though, I want to be clear, an ALJ, a hearing examiner, is an attorney who works for the governor. These are judicial
They
officers.
are.
And this is a court commissioner and is a judicial officer. And that means they're a branch of government that's separate from I mean, he's a constitutional officer, and he may be assisting another judge, but for other purposes, he may have lesser powers than a full elected
They
judge.
do have lesser
No
powers.
question.
Yeah,
Okay, but for the powers if it's your warrant, you want the person that's executing making the decision over your warrant to be that person.
you do. And you want them to be able to proceed within the guidelines that everybody is understood to be
Right. Well,
operating under.
if the Constitution doesn't mean anything, if you're look, here's a great one. They had this case in China, and the judges during the cases were getting texted by the Communist Party officials about what they were supposed to be doing.
Mhm. I don't, that's not even outrageous to me because we've seen it. I mean, there's been board members. I mean, and China's
No, but
situation is bigger.
there's
Yeah,
no difference. It may be a degree off, but it's no
yeah,
different. It's not due process. That's what it's
it
not.
surely is not.
The warrant removal process, for the most part, that was developed when
Take
COVID
care of your children,
hit
everybody.
and was slightly modified only as to 1B and 1C. I
Because these
changed
warrants are
some of the
child
wording in
support
each of
warrants.
those, but everything else was the
I'm
same.
not sure. I don't have my glasses.
And why did
When
you
they say
attach
warrants, I'm
this
assuming you're
document to
saying
the
child
email
support.
assigning Commissioner Edwards to conduct warrant removals?
So there was no communication issue as to what the process was that was to be followed.
Okay.
That's another one that
It's
they're
not showing
doing
my
here is
screen.
he's
Can you tell
testifying as
me,
if he's
was
God,
Yeah.
Commissioner Edwards
as if he knows
successful
what
in managing
Edwards
the
thinks, what
warrant of withdrawal
happened, what,
assignment this time?
I wouldn't miscommunicate.
you know.
Yeah.
He was not, in the
Tell us
sense
what
that,
happened.
well, he signed the first warrant he received, essentially. I think it was the first warrant on the first day, resulted in him communicating with Child Support Services to tell them that he needed further information regarding the warrant withdrawal before he was going to sign it.
Okay.
He
And
then
what's wrong with
entered
that?
into an exchange with
Nothing.
Child Support Services
Nothing at all.
that
I'd like, if it was my warrant, I'd like
ultimately
that to
led
happen.
to a couple changes being made in that particular warrant, and he
But so, because another thing you don't want is your judge to be afraid that his supervisor is going to bust his chops if he asks for more information from the county.
He has every right to ask for more information. He has to make a decision, and if he requires more information, you simply provide it. What's the big deal? It's I mean, just comply, be done.
Right. Well, but so what's the actual? I mean, again, behind the scenes. Remember, this is a county employee telling another county employee that he should not be asking other county employees for more information before he signs off on a
Right.
warrant.
Exactly. That's what it's saying. Yeah.
That's we thought. I mean,
It's better for the public that way.
it's better for the public that
signed
way.
it right at the end
You
of the
can see why
next
they don't want to
day.
have these hearings on. No, they
No.
don't.
That
Jeez.
that process of requesting further information,
Look at that
which was
face.
essentially insignificant and not legally relevant information, interrupted a
He's
process.
that man just said potentially. So he did doing two things. First of all, he's admitting he doesn't know, and then B, he's admitting that he's infringing on this guy's judicial discretion.
And that's what you're going to find out. Yes, and it was extremely relevant. So we'll keep watching.
But we won't get there if I keep
That have
talking.
been successful for years.
Oh,
Anecdotally,
for
had
years,
not resulted in any problems, and frankly,
because
freed
nobody
up a
knew.
significant amount of court time and expedited people being out from under warrants
It also
relatively
doesn't help with
quickly.
the impression that
Um,
all the county workers are in it
I
together.
am sharing my screen again and showing
Well,
you what is
there's
marked as County's
different
Exhibit
groups.
9.
Hmm.
It's page 1. I apologize that I keep having to lean down. I'm gonna fix that while we're on a break. Can you tell us what this email is?
That is the email sent to me by Child Support Services Legal Director Katie Murphy, describing um, the the interruption of the process in general.
Okay, we submitted a proposed order in the format we have been using for 4 years. Okay, was that right? Who knows? And it was rejected at the end of the day. He insisted that we list what day mom and child were tested and list the child tested by name. Okay,
Wow.
even though
How
there is
dare
only
he?
one child on a prejudgment paternity case. Okay, because my first priority is getting the warrant withdrawn on the woman it was filed against. I did change the orders he requested, so that was nice.
That
And
was nice of her.
I'm really glad that I mean she could have also said my first priority was following the law. That would have been something too. And she could have also said that my first priority is complaining against Edward. So she didn't say that. So I guess that's something. But by rejecting the proposed order and insisting we had information that had never been previously required, Commissioner Edwards left a warrant outstanding for at least another 24 hours. On one way we could reread that sentence is by exercising his jurisdiction, Commissioner Edwards left a warrant outstanding for at least another 24 hours.
Yeah, because he was clarifying a few things. Yes.
Well, but judicial officers can do that.
They can, and this we want to remember her name.
Okay, is Kennedy. I won't say this. If you and I were to complain about our warrant, like what I'm telling you is the difference here is that this is another county employee communicating to that this is right. I mean, how can you not have the impression that the county does special favors for the county judicial officers, does special favors for other county officers because they're complaining when it doesn't happen?
Yeah. Well, and she's saying we've always done it this way.
Right.
Now you aren't doing it this way, and because you aren't, you just caused something that kept a warrant open for another 24 hours.
Okay. I mean,
That's her whole argument.
the point is that if let's say that you lose a case,
Hmm.
okay, you when do you get to go to that judge's supervisor and say he should have done something differently?
Never.
Rendered by Commissioner Edwards. He was essentially requesting that there be specifics as to the name rather than initials of a child, and
Okay.
that there be some more specific dates involved
How is that a work rule violation?
It's not, and you'll find that it was necessary as you watch.
Okay.
on the particular warrant that he
Oh,
was asked to sign.
I
Was
should
it
have
your,
kept I should have
I guess
kept
what was
reading.
your,
In his email, Commissioner Edwards commented, quote, "When we don't take the time to address what has actually been done in each case, we are substituting actual engagement with each case's facts with assumptions about what facts occurred."
Nice.
Okay, so that's calling out bureaucratic inertia is what
Yep.
I'm hearing
Yep.
there. Now, once again, it's not the fact that due process is not being respected is not the issue. It's the person who calls out the due process
Right.
violation. I, county employee, am offended by this accusation. I don't know that it's an accusation. First of all, it's a fact. But okay, CSS requested the warrant so that we could have mom tested and child tested. Okay, so what? And now we were specifically asking it to be withdrawn because she and her child were tested. Those are the key facts. And they were included in the proposed order. Wow. Okay. Again, see, remember, this is just for example, um, when Melinda Lawrence and her supervisor, whose name starts with a Z and is escaping me at the moment, were losing in a case before the personal review board.
Okay. Yes.
They went to the head of the county executive, and he promptly removed the two from president and vice president, and they got their mind right
Hmm.
because they weren't 100% squashing the employee.
Yep.
And I mean, again, this is a judicial this is really kind of seems like criminal activity to me.
It really does because there was a valid reason for him to ask for. I mean, he can ask for that
I don't
information
care if it's
anyways.
invalid. Let's say
Right.
he gives them all the double fingers up. He's got judicial.
Yeah.
It's his decision.
Yeah. Right. So she is a big part of the reason why this whole situation is bubbling up, and we'll see a lot more from her, and she sure
But
is.
and again, she's the losing party of in a judicial matter of judicial discretion, and she is not following the rules by appealing it, by doing a motion for reconsideration, for doing anything else. She is trying to get the judge fired.
She's trying to get the judge fired by complaining excessively
you're
about.
speaking of
And he didn't
why,
sign it for a day. He, he engaged in this process of communication with her. But this is only part of the issue because it wasn't just the fact that he had then made this
Wow.
process much more difficult and slower by making what were essentially insignificant requests. But the issue also was communication, and she reports regarding the communication being um, offensive.
But not her own.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
It's, I mean, it's like a step beyond Baby Town.
It is, and to take someone's career away from them because of this as well is disgusting.
Well, right. So this is really, okay. This is a violation of all of the constitutional rights of all of the people before the family court. Okay. Period. The end. It's beyond what they're doing to Mr. Edwards here. But in me, what's just so disgusting is the way that they've internalized their righteousness
Mhm.
and weaponized it.
Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of propels them is their belief system and the way that they do things.
I'm sorry, can you clarify who the she is in the reporting?
She, meaning Katie Murphy, the legal director of Child Support Services.
So this was her reporting to you that she felt offended by Commissioner Edwards' communication?
Decision.
Okay, and that was a direct violation of the final warning that you had just given Commissioner Edwards a month prior, correct?
Yes.
It was a violation.
And a little bit of a technical note. That wasn't the only one he denied. He denied that one because he said he needed the name of the child and the date of the arrival of the mother. A couple days later, he did the same thing. He objected again to a warrant withdrawal for relatively insignificant reasons. He said, and he wanted more. He said, not only do I want the name, the date,
He didn't get his mind right.
the name of the child, the date the mother brought in the child, but I also want to know what method of verification was used for the child. There are pictures taken of every child who comes before those. There's no process of identifying a child other than taking a picture and putting it on the
He's
genetic
asking for
test results.
specifics
But
more than
the
bureaucratic
point was that he had
inertia, and
added
that's
another
he must be
hurdle
removed.
And there's a
to
reason
the
why there's a
process
problem with
within
the way they
another
do this.
couple of days.
So was Commissioner Edwards
We'll find.
recalcitrant of his conduct in any way then?
Recalcitrant.
No.
Did he take any ownership or understand that he had offended Attorney Murphy in this process?
Not to me.
Oh,
Commissioner Cruz, do you think that there's any additional training or professional coaching that would allow Commissioner Edwards to succeed as the Deputy Court Commissioner?
I don't believe that training is an issue. It's
He's
not the
uppity.
issue. When you look at the tasks he was assigned, TROs, the calendar events, he filed stipulations and ultimately warrant withdrawals. Only the calendar events required significant training. He'd done all the other ones, and those were fairly simple tasks for a judicial officer who'd been working for 5 years in the job. A training issue and its corollary, the insistence that there was a training binder that was available and hidden, is misleading
the
because
hidden
he was
binder.
not doing the things he was asked to do. You don't need training to sign stipulations on a timely basis so that people have some certainty in their lives. You don't need training to sign warrants on a timely basis so that people don't spend time in jail. These are not criminals. These are relatively irresponsible people who have not been genetic tested when they were ordered to do so, but they're not criminals.
Mm.
When you're responsible for updates in the calendar to arrange your employees' time off, you don't need to be trained to do it timely so that the commissioners have some certainty in their lives quickly and that the head of the union doesn't come to complain about
Oh, the
that
head of the
timeliness.
union.
You don't need training for that. You don't need training when you're the deputy family court commissioner in a community of more than 1 million people to work collaboratively, communicate respectfully and courteously and kindly. You don't need training to do those things. So training was not a
Don't
specific
ever
issue.
push
You do
back on
need
county
training
employees who
for some
want
of the more
warrants.
And they
complex
haven't shown
tasks
him
that he was never
any
assigned. It was
communication that's
offered
been.
on a number of occasions.
No, it's a
I
hearsay.
asked
This
him if
lady
he
said
would
that he was,
choose something
Yeah.
from the list
well,
that
she
he
said that he
thought we
wanted
could
more information and she
move
found that to
forward
be
on.
offensive.
He declined to do that. Those would have been subject to training. I would have provided him with my knowledge. I would have moved
My
forward in
knowledge.
the way that he thought maybe we should move forward by writing some of the processes down, but those never really became issues. So,
This is the issue.
so no training, further training, no, not not
He's not
a
trainable.
resolution.
Commissioner Pierce, is there anything short of termination that you think might resolve the issues with Commissioner Edwards' performance and conduct?
I don't believe that demotion in lieu of termination would be appropriate for a number of reasons. He has demeanor issues. If you in that in
He
the
said that out
annual
loud.
evaluation, two separate
He can't work
demeanor
anywhere.
issues
He's
were
got to be
brought up.
He's
unemployed for the
too
rest of his
Despite
life.
uppity.
having partial calendars on occasion
He should just
throughout
be a
the
ward
year.
of the state.
Judge Martins reported receiving negative feedback on
Or
two
like maybe it's some kind of
occasions
workplace where they could,
during the annual
provide him
review,
some
one
kind
of
of
which was
tools where he could be
particularly
working.
credible
They would
because
feed
it
him
was reported by
regularly.
both
Yeah.
litigants
Right.
at a de novo review
That
before
might
Judge
be the
Martins,
appropriate place
including the
according to Mr.
litigant
There's a
Pruitt.
whole bunch of us
um,
placed in the same spot
Right, like a
together.
for
plantation, they
whom
might
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Commissioner
Okay.
Edwards had ruled. He, um, Judge Ashley also reported receiving several reports of inappropriate demeanor on the part of Commissioner Edwards, including an incident in which he said, "Do you know how busy I am?"
Well,
It's
was he
funny
So the
because
busy?
demeanor
Do
is
this
an
you?
this
issue.
guy talks about how busy he is
His
Yeah.
too.
response
Yeah.
at that time was that he needed more information regarding those issues in order to
He's really
to
enjoying
address
this.
them in any way.
He
You can
is
see that.
tattletale.
Hmm.
He's clashed with the private bar.
Oh, how the
The
heck do you
former
know
chief
that?
judge of the family division, Mike Dwyer, contacted me at one point to reference him as a tyrant in
Oh,
his hearings.
thanks.
Um, and others have communicated similar sentiments to me.
No tyrants allowed.
His
Well, where's that a work
Another
rule
issue
violation? I
that
mean,
I
it's
would
just you know how they
foresee
do.
is
They
that
do
his
this like he's
style as
just
a
a jerk.
judicial
He's a
officer
jerk.
Yeah.
to take very extensive notes on his cases, which is admirable.
Mm.
Oh,
Provides him
but
with a
I'm
lot
going
of
to use it as a
information
bad thing right
when
now.
he comes to the decision part. He's got good findings, but that's not the style of all of his colleagues, and he's regularly been derisive towards styles that are less verbose, um, to the point of disrespect. He stated on many occasions that he cannot do the job of the assistant family court commissioner in 40 hours. That when he was doing the family court commissioner job, he was working more than 40 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab
Um,
my stuff from my courtroom. I'm listening.
and finally, and most significantly, he hasn't demonstrated any insight into how his own behavior might contribute to these negative situations. He invariably looks to others. This was a pattern when he was in AFCC, and now it's been repeated again and again,
We
in
should have
which
just cut him
at
off
this time
then.
he's blaming me for many of the
I don't think
negative
he wanted to
situations that
promote him.
he himself has contributed to. And that has been pointed out, but never responded to.
Mm.
I'm going to share my screen and show you. Are you familiar with the charges that were filed in this case
Why does Melinda
against
Lord
Commissioner
look like
Edwards?
she's about to cry?
Yes,
Okay. Did you participate in drafting those charges?
I did.
Um,
Of
Turning your
course.
attention to the final page, where it says here, Milwaukee County Code, the rules and that he has violated here. I want to ask you, walking through them, subsection K, refusing or failing to obey orders of a supervisor, whether written or oral. Can you tell us as briefly as possible, can you summarize for us
Whether
Finally,
written or oral.
why Commissioner
finally,
Edwards has violated
tell us
subsection
what these
K?
charges are. After you've
Yes,
slandered the guy all over the town.
I asked him to do things like the calendar events, and he refused. I asked him on a prior occasion
He
to
refused.
on a recent occasion in 2025 to assist me in arranging coverage for staff at the front when we were going to be shorthanded. He put up roadblocks and essentially refused to do that. Um, and this um, and this was a common occurrence throughout the time that he was
He was just
employed
constantly
It was
or has
repeating.
been
constant, but I
employed
don't have
here.
any emails
Right.
or anything.
Can you briefly summarize for the board how Commissioner Edwards violated subsection L, refusing or failing to comply with departmental work rules, policies, or procedures policies?
Yes, our departmental work rules require courteous and professional communication with all parties, and that has not been his pattern for the reasons I cited. Um, through 2025.
He should
And now
remain
again recently.
unemployed for the remainder of his life.
Can you tell us briefly, summarizing how Commissioner Edwards has violated subsection T, failure or inability to perform the duties of the assigned position?
Yes, the duties of the assigned position in per the JEQ are to assist the FCC.
To do what I say.
I started that process by assigning him tasks when we first started the process of becoming a team. But ultimately, he failed to do even the things that I assigned to him, such that
Thank
I
you.
ended up doing them.
And finally, can you briefly summarize for us how Commissioner Edwards failed or violated subsection U, substandard or careless job performance?
Careless.
Yes, once again, the process of timeliness was substandard, as was
He
the
was mean to me
communication
by
in which he
continuing to say I
engaged.
was discriminated against
He
him.
asked
Thank
for
you.
additional
I have
information
no
from
further
an
questions of
attorney.
Commissioner Cruz.
Mm.
All right. Attorney Sultan?
Phoebe, can I interject? Would this be a good time to take a
It
lunch
sure
break
would.
for people?
All right. We've let's hope our audio recordings meet with our audience's preferences.
You should let that play out though.
All right.
Just
I guess
just
I
so
will.
that we
Probably
can,
would be.
because I can't remember if
See how
William
long
asked a
should we
question.
have lunch? Because how many
Oh.
more witnesses do we expect to have?
The county has at least 2 more, but we expect to call 4 more potentially. 2 are quite short, but I do anticipate there's at least 1 more that will be somewhat lengthy.
Okay. And of course, Attorney Sultan will have witnesses as well. So I'm suggesting that I think we should take a break, but perhaps further abbreviate it. What do you think? Will
Okay,
be a
maybe.
sufficient time.
I couldn't remember if William said something. Okay.
It's fine.
We'll
I-
see you in the funny papers,
Okay.
y'all.
Prepared to be
Bye.
available at the